All right, we're going to go from sex toy back to our first story, which is Bill Cosby. And Jason, you have a question about some...
I mean, my question is the guy that has the I want to sleep with people that are asleep.
Yeah.
Okay,
sex
so
with
let's
people.
just sorry, when I say sex with people who are asleep, so that's usually where I go. I'm old.
You're usually asleep.
I just want to sleep whenever I can. I'm addicted to it. If you want to do it naked, I'm in. I think that even if you do have that, whatever you want to call it, how does that make it right?
It was my question to the panel too. Yeah. So he has something to feel. So what? It helped. It's just like I was saying. It's just a way of understanding. You hear these behaviors. You go, how's that? How does that even occur to them? What are they even thinking? Why does that happen? Well, you can go, oh, well, people. There's a pattern. People do this. This guy takes, if indeed Rod Cosby did what he alleged to have done, he took that impulse to an extreme.
Right. Because isn't it just setting it up for that? But even the guy who was on the phone was setting it up as though the natural progression is that you have to then start to rape people.
No. He said he understands the fantasy. How else do you do it when they're asleep?
How else do you do it? Well, first of all, my question of how else do you do when they're sleeping? How do you not wake up?
He was saying that he had consent, so it's like, are they drugging them? But for me, the bigger issue is that this immediately makes sex an issue that's just so self-focused. Like, you don't care that the other person is getting any enjoyment, any connection at all.
To me, I didn't see that segment. I don't think it's about getting off or pleasing your partner or connecting. I think it's a power thing. It's like it's some
Wait a minute. How can it not be about sex if you're having sex while it's happening?
Because I think it's more the power gets them. Like, I think it's more the power, the
secrecy.
That is what's getting them.
You're talking from the female mind.
No, the guy last night said that.
The penis out of a man's body. It's impossible. He's trying to have sex with them. He's power tripping. He's controlling.
Cosby.
He's dominating. He's a sneak. He's a rapist. He's all of them.
She was talking about the other guy that called in. But Cosby, I agree.
Cosby. I believe, and by the way, a lot of people were sending me hate tweets as usual. I'm not blaming the victims. I'm not saying everyone's lying. I'm just saying that sometimes we have to kind of be open to the idea that when there is a public figure being accused of something, it's known that people do come out of nowhere and sometimes fabricate just to get attention, even if there's no monetary interest involved. So that was the point that I was making.
That many people?
Yeah. I'm also curious to know if any of these women felt like a weird vibe from him. Because I know I've been around certain men that I'm like, they felt it before anything even happened, and you're like, get out of that situation.
I repeat, I have never met this man, so part of me feels like I'm giving this third-party information, which is basically what I'm doing, but it's people that I know very well. And everyone who has, it sounds so terrible. It's like I am afraid to say the truth that I know, which is that everybody's like either he's mean, he's just mean, or they have had these terribly abusive situations with him. And you just say, like, how I want to be as diplomatic and open-minded as the next person, for sure. And the last thing I would want ever to have, somebody be lambasted like this and have it not be true. But how could it be? So many people. And there's just simply no other explanation.
And not only that, he really
and why am I afraid to say that?
Yeah, so can you imagine what they feel?
Why am I afraid to say exactly?
Yeah, like if you're afraid that.
But that's his power, though, and that's what's scary. You brought up the fact, if they felt something, why would they have the need to say? Well, unfortunately, because he's a powerful figure and because these women, a lot of them, the MO was he was going after women who were trying to make it in the industry. So he's dangling that carrot. And sure, maybe they did feel something off, but unfortunately...
People who get raped don't tell people when it's not Bill Cosby.
Thank you. And then can you imagine if it's a really famous figure like that? And so sad.
Do you think that someone is going to come out, though, at some point and be like, I went to the doctor and I got, the rape kit done? Because for the number of people, it's surprising that no one's coming out.
No one's come. That's the thing.
Or an assistant.
Somebody was helping him.
One of the questions on Twitter is, where was he getting these? If he was drugging them, where was he getting it?
Anita, maybe you want to do a little investigating.
There you go, counselor.
The substance I think I'd be looking for is something called chloral hydrate. It's really not around anymore, but it's highly sleep-inducing and suddenly sleep-inducing. While the only other substance they had around at that time was with the barbiturates, like Seconal, Tuinol, not then. Seconal, Tuinol, and that caused extreme intoxication, but not sleep the way chloral hydrate does. Chloral hydrate causes sleep, and it's liquid. It's a liquid, and it was easy to come by back in the day.
Like GHB.
It was similar, but even more sleep-induced. They use it for like children that need to have procedures. They give it to them. They
wow, okay.
And and so
Right, that certainly sounds
back to
good.
Kate.
Where was he getting it?
That's what you're going to go figure out.
Yeah,
Kate?
we have to like.
She's going to report back to us. But like you're saying, is the sheer number of women coming forward making Cosby guilty in your mind? Let us know.